Hello folks, this is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers that are drawing on May 22nd, 2019. If you'd like to get my game Decoding the Powerball, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, so the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball Lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. So to help me do that, I'm going to turn to the 5 strategies of my game. So strategy number 1, the game card color code. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, why I make them is to show you on how to use my game. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is a format that I came up with that represents the 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball Lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize with the Power Play option. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage, and the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 2, 10, 25, 66, and 67. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list, and now I'm going to find out what colors they were. Okay, so you can see that the 2 was orange, the 10 was blue, the 25 was green, the 66 was red, and the 67 was green. So I'm going to color those in. Okay, so again, the 2 was orange, the 10 was blue, the 25 and 67 were green, and the 66 was red. Okay, so now I'm going to count how many colors I have. I have 2 green, red, blue, and orange for 4 colors total. Okay, so up here I'm going to make this 333 color code drawings I kept track of so far. And out of this 333 drawings, a 4 color combination has now come up 111 times. Okay, so what I want you to focus on here is the 3 color combination. Okay, so you can see that that has come up 180 times. So if you divide 180 into 333, you're going to see that a 3 color combination comes up more than half the time. Okay, and to me that's huge, because long term, if I just keep on picking a 3 color combination, I know statistically I'm going to be correct more than half the time. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a new game card. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate all these colors and start from scratch. Okay, so my color code is right here. These are all the red numbers. Okay, and then it's the orange, green, blue, and purple. So basically what I did is I took the 69 white ball numbers, I divided it by 5 different colors, and that's 1 color for each of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? And that equals 13.8, okay? So my goal is to get as close to as 13 or 14 numbers per color as possible, okay? Or a good representation of each color. Okay, so again, I'm going to start in with the red numbers, and again, it's the last 3 drawings, and the reason why it's the last 3 is because this will give me a maximum of 15 numbers. Okay, so again, I'm going to start in with the 2, the 10, 25, 66, 67, okay? And then the next line is 7, 17, 33, 61, and 68. And then the next line is 6, 8, 9, 37, and 40. And now we'll round it out. So again, I'm going to make these red numbers. And now I'm going to count how many I have. So I got 2, and 5 is 7, and 2 more is 9, 3 is 12, and 3 more is 15. So I'm going to leave that right there at 15. So up here it tells me how many colors I have on the game card. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the orange area, and I'm going to start with the 1, then the 45, 53, 64, 66, which is already taken. So then I'm going to go to the 6, which is already taken, and I'll start with the 16, The 23, 30, 61 is already taken. So I'll move on to the next line, which is the 5. 23 is taken, 28, 56, and the 66 is already taken. So the last line is 2, which is taken, the 29, 41, 45, which is taken, and the 62. So again, I'm going to make these orange numbers, and now I'm going to count how many I have. So I got 1, and 3 is 4, and 4 is 8, and 4 more is 12, and 1 is 13. So I'm going to make this 13 up here, okay? So now I'm going to move on to the green. I'm going to start with the 6, which is already taken, so I'll move to the 32. Then the 35, 36, 65. Then the next line is 3, 27, 30, which is taken, 63, 65, which is taken. And then it's the 1, which is taken, 15, 17 is taken, 46, and 66 is taken. So I'll move on to the next line, which is 4. 17 is taken, the 26. 32 is taken, 49. And then the next line is 12, 21, 23 is taken, 39, and 67, which is taken. Okay, so the last line in green is the 15, which is taken, the 33 is taken, 43, 59, and 60. So again, I'm going to make these green numbers, and I'm going to find out how many there are here, okay? So I got 6 here, and 3 more is 9, and 3 is 12, 3 more is 15, and 3 more is 18, so I'm going to make this 18. Okay, so I have a couple more green numbers than I want. I want that 13 or 14 mark, okay? But here's the thing. My color code here is set in stone, okay? So just because I have more green numbers for this drawing, that doesn't mean I could just go and make these blue numbers to give myself a better number combination, okay? So again, this is set in stone, and basically what will happen is this 2 will work its way down like a caterpillar, and all these colors will work its way out, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to scroll over here to the right just to speed things up a little bit, okay? So here's the game card for May 22nd, 2019. You can see that turned out to be 15 red numbers, 13 orange, 18 green, 13 blue, and 9 purple numbers, okay? So again, more than half the time, a 3-color combination comes up, okay? So that means more than half the time, 2 colors are not coming up. And that's what I want to focus on here, okay? So the strategy is try to correctly guess what color will not be coming up, all right? So you can see, again, there's 333 drawings, okay? Only 12 times have all 5 colors come up, okay? So it does come up, but it's very rare that it does, okay? So again, the strategy is to correctly guess what color will not be coming up. So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to guess that no green numbers are going to come up, okay? And the reason why is because green has just, as you look at things here, you just see lots of green, okay? So what I'm trying to do is just try to predict what the ebb and flow is going to be, okay? So again, I'm going to go with no green numbers, and I know that it has the most on the game card, but there's 51 other numbers that can come up, okay? So there's plenty of other numbers that come up, and basically what I'm going to do is eliminate these green numbers off of the game card, okay? So I'm going to block these out. Okay, so when I block out a number like this means that I'm not even going to consider this number when I'm picking what I think would be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So basically what I'm doing is I'm buying a Powerball ticket for $3, which includes the power play, okay? So in other words, I'm betting $3 that none of these green numbers will come up in the next drawing, okay? So if I'm correct with my bet, and none of these green numbers come up, then I'm one step closer to that $2 million prize. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 2, the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers. Okay, so basically what I did is I took all 69 numbers and I divided it into 7 different groups. Okay, so here's group number 1 that holds the numbers of 1 through 9, and this is the only one with 9 numbers, and then the rest have 10. Okay, so I'm going to reduce this down so you can see the whole card. Okay, there it is. All right, so again, I divided this up into 7 different groups, and group number 1 has the numbers of 1 through 9, and then it's the teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Again, for 7 groups total. Okay, so there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so I know that 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to correctly guess which one of these groups will not have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so what I'm going to do here and how you read this is this big square right here. This is good for 5 drawings. Okay, and the reason why I like to break it down into 5 is for a couple reasons. When I go back into the history of things, it's easier to count going 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. Okay, but my theory is that if there's a lot of hits within this 5 drawings here, then maybe there won't be so many hits in the next 5 drawings, or vice versa. Okay, so again, the object of the game is to eliminate groups of numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to guess that no numbers of 1 through 9 are going to come up. And the reason why is that this 2 has came up in the last one, so I'm going to color that in a second. Okay, but you can see that it's been 5 and 3 is 8, 9, 10, 11 drawings in a row, and that's a record for this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and guess that no numbers of 1 through 9 are going to come up. All right. Another one that I'm going to go with is the 60 group. Okay, you can see how hot these 60 numbers have been. Okay, so you got 5, 10, 15 drawings here. Okay, and there's just been a ton of 60 numbers here, so I'm just going to guess that no 60 numbers are going to come up this drawing as well. Okay, so let me blow this back up. Okay, so another way that I could use this is, let me first update this. Okay, so you can see that the 2 came up. So I'm going to update this, and I'm going to make this orange right here. And I'm going to make it orange because the 2 is orange. Okay, and the 2 is orange because the color code said it was orange. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to find out how many groups this hit. So the 2 is in a group, its own group, the 10 is in its own group, the 25 is in its own group, and the 66 and 67 are in the group for 4 groups total. Okay, and 4 comes up a lot. As I go down through the history of things, you can see how many times the 4 has come up. Okay, a 3 comes up a close second, and then a 5, and then a 2 will come up like every once in a blue moon. Okay, like right here. Okay, so I never seen a 1. I've never seen all 5 numbers from one group come up. That hasn't come up yet. Okay, I'm sure it will at some point, but it hasn't yet. Okay, so again, the strategy is to correctly guess which one of these groups will not be coming up. So I'm going to go to the game card, and I'm going to eliminate the numbers of 1 through 9. And I'm going to eliminate the 60 numbers. Okay, so I'm going to block those out, and hopefully those numbers don't come up. Okay, so here's the thing, kind of like what Sherlock Holmes would say, it's a matter of deduction. Okay, So if these blocked out numbers don't come up, then the ones highlighted on the game card have to come up, okay? So hopefully I made all the correct guesses so far, all right? And none of these blocked out numbers hopefully will not be coming up. Okay, so moving on to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 3, the 50-50 picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the 50-50 picks. So again, there's 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So there has to be a majority of either odd numbers or even numbers, or numbers to the high side or numbers to the low side. So I like to keep track of that and try to correctly guess what the majority will be for the upcoming drawing, okay? So I'm going to go back to the game card and find out what colors, what the numbers were, okay? So I got an even, odd. So as I come back here, I know I have 2 odd numbers and 3 even numbers, okay? So over here, I'm going to make this 378, okay? And now I'm going to make this 180, okay? So the one that's highlighted is the one that won the majority, okay? So what I do here and how you can look at this is I like to break things down into 5 as well, just so it shows me that majority, okay? So here in the last 5 drawings, you can see that the even numbers have won this 5 drawings here, 3 drawings to 2, okay? So as I go down through, you know, you can see that it's been evens, odds, evens, odds, evens, and now I think that this is going to be evens right here as well. So that means the next 2 drawings have to be the majority of even numbers to do that, okay? So when I'm picking what I think would be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers, I want to make sure that it's going to represent at least 3 of them to be even numbers, okay? So moving on to the next one. This is high and low, so you can see that all the red numbers are considered high numbers. All the ones in blue are considered low, okay? So you can see that all 5 numbers came up in the last, all low numbers came up in the last drawing, okay? So as I go back here, you can see that it's been 66 and 67. And as I look at this, you can see that the 66 right here and the 67 is here. So even though that those are considered high, they're in the blue area. So when they come up, I record them in the blue area of low, okay? So here you can see that this is even, 189 to 189, okay? So I think that's pretty incredible that it's dead even like that, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a guess that there's going to be more high numbers than low numbers, okay? Just because in the last 10 drawings here, you can see that the majority has been low, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and predict that there's going to be more high numbers than low numbers, okay? So moving on to the next one. This is left and right here, okay? You can see that the left is behind 184 to 194, okay? So what I'm going to do is go ahead and guess that there's going to be more numbers to the left side than the right side, okay? So again, I want at least 3 numbers over here to the left side. Okay, so moving on to the 50-50 here is this red and blue, okay? You can see that the red is way ahead, 211 to 167. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to predict that there's going to be more numbers in the blue area. So I want at least 3 of them in this blue area here, okay? So one more thing that I have is this is for the Powerball number itself. So if you get my game, you can look at this. And, you know, here you can see that in this column here, there's 26 red numbers. So basically what I did is I divided those numbers in 2, okay? So if you see a blue number, that's considered low, 1 to 13. If you see a red number, that's high, 14 to 26. And over in this column, if you see a red number, that's considered odds. If you see a blue, that's considered evens, okay? So why I do this is now I just look at the colors, okay? So you can see here a single red, single red, single red, single red, single red, single red, okay? So when's it going to double up like here? Okay, so I'm thinking it's going to double up now. Okay, so I'm going to be looking for a red number here, a high number. Okay, so automatically that reduces the numbers. You know, instead of looking at all 26 numbers, now I'm only looking at 13. Okay, and over here, since there's been 3 blue numbers in the last 3 drawings, I'm going to predict that this is going to be red. So I'm going to be looking at a high odd number. Okay, so that's only the 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25. So instead of looking at all 26 numbers, now I'm just looking at 6 numbers here. Okay, so I'm not sure which one I'm going to go with. The 21 seems to come up a lot. So I might be going with that 21. Okay, so moving on to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 1 numbers. Okay, so basically what I did is I took all the numbers and divided it into 4 different groups. Then I put colors to these groups. Okay, so when the 5 white winning Powerball numbers land within these groups, I record where they land down here in the stats. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. I'll update this right now. So again, it was the 2, 10, 25, 66, 67. Okay, so you can see that the 2 here is in the red. The 10 is in the red. The 25 shares the square with the 65, and I'll go over that in a second. And then the 67 is here in the red as well. Okay, and then the 66 is over here in the blue. So I got 4 in the red, 1 here in the blue, no winning Powerball numbers in the orange, no winning Powerball numbers in the green. Okay, so when there's a 0 here, what I do is I color the background blue for cold. Okay, and over here I color when there's a hit, I color the background red for hot. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this 107, and that tells me that, let me make this the right color here. So that tells me that, that this is another 0 in this column. That tells me that there's been 107 zeros in this orange column here, okay? So over here, I'm going to make this 95. In here, I'm going to make this 19. And this tells me that out of the last 19 drawings, a blue number has come up. Okay? So the strategy is try to correctly guess where these zeros are going to pop up. Okay? If I could have correctly guessed that none of these orange numbers were going to come up in the last drawing, I could have eliminated all these numbers and gave myself a much better chance at winning some kind of prize in the Powerball Lottery. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction. Okay? So this is where the 50-50 picks come in. Okay? So as I go back to the 50-50 picks here, you can see that the odds and evens aren't really going to help me here. But the high and low are. Again, I thought there was going to be more high numbers than low numbers, okay? And I also thought there was going to be more numbers to the left side than the right side, okay? So as I look at this, as I look at my group 1 here, this is where the 50-50 picks come in because I want to envision where those Powerball numbers are going to come up, okay? So again, I think at least 3 of them are going to be over here to the left side. And I think at least 3 of them are going to be up here in the high number side, okay? Which means that this blue is looking good for no numbers to come up, okay? So plus it's been 19 drawings in a row, so it could be due to miss, all right? So as I look at this, I see that the longest streak in here for this option card number 1 has been 17. And this is up to 19, 2 over, okay? So I'm going to make a prediction that none of these blue numbers are going to come up in the next drawing, okay? So I'm going to bet $3 with my Powerball ticket that none of these blue numbers will come up. So I'm going to get rid of them, I'm going to take them off my game card, and hopefully they don't come up, okay? So moving on to the next one, I'm going to update this option card number 2. So I have 15 of these option cards, and they all have the same colors of red, blue, orange, and green. So here's option card 3, option card 4. You see the same colors. Okay, it's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each other from each different option card. Okay, so let me go ahead and update this. So you can see that it was 2, 10, 25, all in the red. So I'm going to make this 3 right here, okay? And there was a 67 here in the blue, so I'll make this 1. There's no winning Powerball numbers here in the orange, and there was 1 here in the green, that's 66. Okay, so again, I'm going to color these in. Okay, and I'm going to make this 86 right here, okay? So again, the object of the game is to correctly guess where these blue marks are going to come up, okay? So the one that I'm going to go with next is option card number 5. So here's the thing about this. You know, we're all going to look at this a little bit differently, okay? But for me, you see this number 3, no 3. As I go down, you can see that there's plenty of 3 zeros in a row here within these columns, okay? So you can see here, 1 in the blue, 1 in the green. As I make my way down, you can see 1 in the red, okay? Another 1 in the red. Okay, another 1 in the red. So here's the thing, in this orange area, it has never been 3 zeros in a row before. So I'm thinking that this is the opportunity to make that happen, okay? So I'm going to say that there's going to be a 0 here, okay? Which means I don't believe that any of these orange numbers are going to come up, so I'm going to get rid of them. So the pattern is 5, 6, 15, 16, all the way down. So I'll start with here, the 37, 38. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of those 5 numbers. Hopefully those don't come up, okay? So now I'm going to go back to group 1 here, all right? So here's the thing. Again, I have 15 of these option cards, and they all have the same colors. So basically what I do is I have a group 1 overview here, okay? So here you can see that what I do to make this blue and this red is I count the zeros among these option cards, okay? These zeros right here. So you can see that in all 15 option cards, there was 10 option cards with a 0 to it in the orange area, okay? There was only 1 0 in the blue area of all 15 option cards in the last drawing, okay? So the magic number here is 5 for me, okay? So if there's 5 or more zeros, I color the background blue for cold. If there's 4 or less zeros, I color the background red for hot. Because I want some separation here, okay? I want to be able to guess where a blue mark is going to be, okay? So if I can correctly guess where a blue mark is going to be, like let's say I think it's going to be here in the red, then I'm going to be looking at those red areas for the zeros to it, okay? So there's usually always plenty of zeros, okay? Last drawing, there's 20 of them. Before that, there was 12, 13 before that. What I'm looking to do is correctly guess whether there's going to be 1, 2, or possibly even 3 of them, okay? That's what I'm going to go for this drawing here, okay? So I went with the option card number 1 and 5. And now what I'm going to do is the next one that I'm going to go with is option card number 13, no blue. Okay, so again, I have 15 of these option cards, and why I'm picking this one. And again, we're all going to look at this differently, okay? I'm going to predict that there's going to be a 0 here, which will make this a 1 right here, okay? And for some reason, this pattern of a 1 that follows a 1 comes up a lot, okay? So we'll see what happens, all right? So you can see that it happened over here, 1 that follows a 1 right here, okay? As I make my way down, you'll see a couple more. Here's one over here in the other column, okay? Now here's the thing with this blue area. This has never had a 1 to follow a 1 like this, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and say that that's going to happen this drawing, which means I don't believe that any of these blue numbers are going to come up. So I'm going to get rid of them, and that's a 2, 4, 9, 11. So the 2 and the 4 is gone, but let's start with the 11. Okay, the 25 shares the square with the 65, so I'll get rid of that. Okay. Okay, so hopefully none of those numbers come up. Okay, so now I just really reduced the numbers for myself. Okay, so I want to go over these numbers off here to the left. Okay, when I go back to group 1, you can see that there's no numbers over here. Okay, so basically what I did is what I call sharing the square. Okay, so the 25 shares the square with the 65 here. Okay, the 8 with the 66, the 19 with the 67, the 58 with the 68, and the 53 with the 69, okay? So if I get rid of all these blue numbers, okay, I'm going to get rid of the 25 and the 65 along with all these other blue numbers as a group, okay? So again, I'm just breaking these into groups of numbers, okay? So as I go back here, I'm all done picking from group 1, okay? So I'm going to go on to the next strategy, which is strategy number 5, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 2 numbers, okay? So much like group 1, where I divided things into 4 different groups, here I divided things into 8 different groups, okay? So the big difference is that there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So I know that 3 of these color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay? So the strategy is try to correctly guess which one of these color groups will not have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so how this works is I'm going to update this. So again, the 2, 10 are both in the blue area. The 25 is in the red, the 67 is in the orange, and the 66 is in the yellow, okay? So I have 15 of these option cards, and they all have the same colors as red, blue, orange, green, purple, brown, gray, yellow. It's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each other, okay? So I'm going to update this. So I always like to read things from left to right. So I got the red, 2 blue, 1 orange, 1 yellow. So as I come down here, I got the 1 red, that 25, 2 blue numbers, the 2 and the 10, 1 in the orange, that's 67. There are no winning Powerball numbers in the green area. No winning Powerball numbers in the purple numbers. No winning Powerball numbers in the brown. No winning Powerball numbers in the gray, and that 1, the 66 in the yellow area. So now I count how many groups it hit. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. And since the majority of the numbers are over here to the left side, I colored this 4 red, okay? So if I go back into the history of things and I look at this 3, I know that the majority of the numbers were over here to the right side because it's green, okay? So what I'm going to do now is you can see that this is highlighted red because there's already 3 here, okay? So basically what I do, let me explain that better, okay? again, I like to break things down into 5 so it shows me a majority of things. So you can see that here uh, with this 5 drawings, the first 5 drawings, the majority had 3 zeros to it. So when that happens, I color the background blue for cold. Now the next one down, you can see that the majority was hits, and when that happens, I colored the background red for hot. Okay, so we all know the lottery is random, right? And this is what random looks like. Okay, so when I see something that's been really, really hot like this, I know that since the lottery is random, it can't stay hot forever. Okay, I know it's going to turn cold at some point. Okay, so when I look at this, I just have to correctly guess when it's going to turn cold. All right. So I'm thinking that that's going to happen over here in the purple area. Okay. I think a 0 is going to be right here. Okay. So I want to get rid of the purple numbers. Okay. So as of right now, I don't even know what those numbers are. Okay. I just know that I think a 0 is going to be here. So now I'm going to go up and take a look at what the numbers are. And it's this 5 that runs down to the 61. So I don't think that these numbers are going to come up. So I want to get rid of them. And I'm going to get rid of them off of the game card. So I'll get rid of this 45. Okay, so as I go back to this group 2, I'm going to update another one. This option card number 2 here. So again, it was the 2, which is red. The 66 was red. Okay, so I got 2 red numbers, a blue, an orange, and a green. Okay, so 2 red, blue, orange, green. I got 2 red, 1 blue, 1 orange, 1 green. So that means no winning Powerball numbers in the purple area, no winning Powerball numbers in the brown area, no winning Powerball numbers in the gray area, and no winning Powerball numbers in the yellow area. Okay, so it hit 4 color groups, and the majority of the numbers were over here to the left side, so I'm going to make this 4 red. Okay, so that's how you update things, and that's how you look at it. Okay, so the next one that I'm going to go with is, here's option card number 3. All right. Sometimes I look at this and it's like, gee, I just don't see anything that's going to help me out here. So I'm going to move on to the next one. And I'm going to go with option card number 4, no gray numbers. Okay. So the reason why I'm going to go with gray is because I have a group 2 overview as well. Kind of like group 1 here. Okay. So this represents all 15 option cards for just the red numbers. Okay. In the last drawing, there was 10 hits, 5 misses among those 15 option cards. Okay. So here we go with just the red areas. You can see that there was a miss. Okay. And then option card number 4, here's the red area. There was a hit. Okay. Red area, there was a hit. All right. So if I keep on going, option card number 6 had a hit, 7 had a hit, 8 had a miss. Okay. So I think you're understanding what's going on here. Okay. So as I go back to the group 2 overview here, I'm going to take this 10 and the 5, and I'm going to bring it to the group 2 overview where I keep things. Okay, so this is it right here. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to make this 278, and I'm going to make this a 10 and a 5. Okay. So since there was more than 8 hits, okay, the magic number here is 8. So 8 will give me the majority out of 15, okay? So when that happens, I color the background red for hot, okay? And when it doesn't happen, when there's more misses, I colored background blue for cold. Okay, so now I look at this and I try to guess where the blue mark is going to be. Okay, and I think it's here in the gray. Okay, I think that this is going to be a blue mark, which means I think there's going to be a lot of misses among these group 2 option cards. Okay, so that's a big reason why I'm going with this gray right here. Okay, I think a 0 is going to be here. Okay, so now I'm going to go up and see what numbers they represent. Okay, and they represent the 17 and the 69. Okay, so I'm going to go to the game card and get rid of those. So the 19 shares the square with the 67, so I'll get rid of that, and I'll get rid of the 55 and 56. And also the 53 because that shares the square with the 69. Okay, so next one I'm going to go with is option card number 8. No green numbers. Okay, so here's the green, and as I work my way down, you can see that the last 7 drawings have had a hit to it, so I think the 0 is going to be right here. Okay, so we'll see what happens, and we'll see what numbers they represent. So it's the 8, 13, 24, 29 all the way down. So it starts with the 40, so I'll get rid of the 40. So I think all the numbers will be over here to the left side, which I wanted. Okay, so moving on, the next one that I think is going to miss is number 9, yellow. Okay, so here's the yellow, and as I work my way down, you can see that things got pretty hot through here. So I think the 0 is going to be right here. Okay. So again, I'm going to get rid of all the yellow numbers, and that's the 1217 on the left side and 6629 on the right side. Well, I know that there's no more numbers over here, so I'm just going to concentrate over here on the left. So 1217, and that's the 44, okay? Okay, so I'm getting down there. I got 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got one more number to get rid of. Okay. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go with option card number 10. No gray numbers. Okay. So again, I thought there was going to be lots of misses in this gray. So as I worked my way down, you can see that things got really, really hot through here. And now I think the 0 is going to be right here. So let's see what numbers they represent. So it's a 17, 28, that pattern all the way around. So I'll get rid of this 28. Okay, and that brings me down to the 5 numbers. Okay, so for this drawing, I'm going to go with the 10, 33, 42, 51, and 58. So again, it's a matter of deduction. If these blocked out numbers don't come up, then these 5 numbers have to come up. Okay, so that's how I look at things. All right, so what are the odds that I got everything right, that I picked everything right? Well, to get the grand prize, which is up to 288 million here, okay, to get that prize, you got to get all 5 white numbers and a red number, and the odds of doing that are 1 in 292 million and change. Okay, my goal is to get all 5 white ball numbers. If I get the red ball correct too, then bonus. Okay, but just to get the 5 white ball numbers is 1 in 11,688,000. Okay, so a really nice prize is 4 white balls and a red ball. That will pay 50,000 plus the power play. Okay, that's just about 1 in a million odds. And a more reasonable prize is getting 4 white balls correct. That will pay you $100 plus the power play. 3 white balls, $7 plus the power play. If you just get the red ball, That's $4 plus the power play. Okay. So you can see that the odds are really, really astronomical here. Okay. So I just want you to know that if you spend $3 per drawing, there's 2 drawings per week. That will equal $312 per year that you will spend on the lottery. Okay. So in closing, I want to thank you for watching. If you'd like to support my channel, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/decoding the Powerball. And as always, I want to wish you the best of luck with your pick.